This is Nuclear Night School, a Savage World setting set in 1980s America with a whole bunch of magic, where magic is thoroughly mundane, but also very fantastical. You guys have some classes to look over. Side note: I'm actually thinking of making like professional edges in this game called majors. And then
I dig it.
like other edges would be, or like other things would be a minor, so you can have like as many minors as you want, but then you can only have one major, like that. So
Military school.
there is a soldier for the warrior.
In combat.
Yeah, you can major in major.
Yeah, I'm a major.
But can you minor?
That's no. There are laws.
Yeah. In this setting, there's four deities, four gods: Magus, Celestia, War, and the Traveler. A long time ago, they did some stuff, but nobody cares about that now.
Welcome to the 80s.
Yeah, it's the 80s. Nobody cares about history. It's just what's happening right now. Each of the classes is associated with one of the four. So, Celestials get like prophetic abilities. Mages are better at magic than others. Warriors are more sturdy. So, like most of our athletes and Olympians are warriors, right? And travelers
Including
are
a terrible gang from the 70s. I'll shut up.
And yeah, they do come out to play occasionally. The traveler is they're sort of your like wanderer type. They're like the wanderer type, right? So they're gonna have more jack of all trades, but not master of none. That kind of stuff. So that's sort of where you get with the four classes. What is everybody? I know Adam already picked Celestial. So what does everybody else want?
If no one else has a preference, I'm really digging on the warrior.
That's fine by me.
Oh,
Go
and
ahead and take the mage, actually.
okay, you're gonna take the mage?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me assign that to Alex.
Nerds.
Nerds.
How do charisma rolls work in this game? Because I'm going to take +2 to charisma.
Basically, charisma adds to social stats. So if you're taunting or doing stuff like that, you get a +2 to that roll. So you should see those in your deals. Feel free to change their name. Basically, the only thing we're going to use that for is rolling stats or rolling skills. So the next thing you're going to want to know is each of the classes has some abilities. So we're gonna let me pull up the character sheets here, and we can start with the Celestial. Boom. All right. Okay, so on the character sheets, you have a place to put a name, your class, your rank. You have your abilities, your attributes, which are like agility, smarts, spirit, strength, vigor. If you're not familiar with Savage Worlds, you'll usually roll these in when you want to do something generic or when you need to defend against something like someone's trying to convince you of something. You probably have to roll smarts, right? To not be taunted by them. If you want to jump over, balance on a beam, you're going to roll agility, that kind of stuff. Lift something, strength, so on. There's other times when those come up, but we don't need to get into them right now. Right below that, you have all your skills, which I have put in the Roll20 sheet. We're using the skill specializations. So anytime you need to roll a trait roll, if no one's familiar with Savage Worlds, you roll whatever your skill or your trait is, the attribute, plus a d6. And then you pick the higher of the two dice. So you're likely to, one of those dice is going to be decent, right? Because you're a big damn hero, you get this extra thing that makes you a little more reliable. Has anyone not played Savage Worlds?
Not in a while.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a little while for me, too.
Okay. Most trait rolls are going to be against 4. The target number is usually 4. So when you're rolling abilities or rolling skills, you want to get a 4. If you do so, you succeed. If you get 4 more than whatever the target number was, then that's a raise, and you do something better, right? All right. Down below that, you have your abilities. So celestial abilities, they get grants are chosen the power to glimpse the future, and they may change it. So basically, this celestials engage with the Benny mechanic quite a bit. So there's a mechanic in Savage Worlds where everyone gets a number of bennies equal to it's usually 3 unless you are lucky or have bad luck. You spend bennies to re-roll your dice, or you can spend them to try to avoid wounds if you get hurt. Celestials also engage the Benny mechanic to basically glimpse the future. Instead of like one person soaking their wound, a Celestial can spend a Benny, see the future, and try to warn that person. So basically you're soaking the wound for them with your spirit instead of their vigor. So that's what the benefit is there on that Glimpse Tragedy. You get extra bennies because you're going to use them. And then you have your Wax Prophetic where you can say something that you think will come true. If it does, you get some bennies. Mages are just better at spells. They get more skill points specifically for spells. They also get an affinity to a wavelength, to one of the colors of the spells. All spells are powered by light, so different types of spells are associated with a different wavelength of light. The mage has an affinity for one wavelength. In this case, it's red, so you're going to do a lot more like heat spells and things like that. It also grants you access to season spells of that type, which nobody else has access to right now because nobody else is seasoned.
Okay.
And you get a Radiant Wisp familiar, so you get this little like ball of light that follows you around. You can determine their actions. Their biggest benefit is that they can sustain a spell for you.
Right.
But I mean, also they can communicate telepathically. So if you want to use them to scout or whatever, but
They can travel 100 yards away, so
yeah, like they can go around the corner or go into another classroom or.
right.
So, and then we have a warrior. So the warrior's deal is that they're bigger, stronger, faster, right? So they get bonuses to their physical stats, as well as they're a little impatient. So they tend to jump into action without thinking too much. Oh, and Bring 'Em On is they have the ability to basically fight off multiple people at once. You ignore gang up bonus, which is when multiple people are attacking you, they would get bonuses for how many people they have with them. You ignore that. So
That's pretty awesome.
yeah. So that's your abilities. Everybody has the ability to do magic as long as you have the skill in it. So like the warrior, you've only got a couple of D4s in mage. You've got 1 D4 in Magecraft Green, right? So you can sort of cast spells in that type. Anybody can try to do other spells if they wanted, but they're untrained, which means you're at -2.
Cool.
As for the mage, like you've got a D10 in red and D6 in orange. You've got a bunch of magecrafts there, right? So you're going to be a lot more effective if you're trying to cast spells. Whereas the warrior is probably going to want to rely on things they can physically do.
Right. So the spells that I don't that they don't have a D6 or anything in them, I can't cast spells in those, or I'm at a minus to do that.
Yeah, anything you don't have a die type there, you're rolling a D4 -2.
Right. Okay.
So that's the drawback there, is that if you tried to cast, let me see, what don't you have?
Green and blue I don't have.
Right. So say you wanted to do a green spell, let me see, what's a green spell?
Encourage growth.
Yeah, they make it stronger.
Yeah. So you want to encourage growth, or do grasping vines or something like that, right? You would be rolling at a D4 -2. Now, all of the way there's no PowerPoints in this setting. What happens is all of the spells have a negative associated with them, which is how difficult they are to cast. So when you roll your magecraft, you're going to reduce the number by the difficulty of the spell. And as long as you get a 4, you cast the spell.
So the difficulty of the spell would be is it the DM?
Yes. Yeah, that's the difficulty modifier.
Okay, so some of these are +2 and it would be like +2 -2.
Yeah. So like some spells are really easy to cast, right? Like Ignite is +2. But then Heat Metal is -2.
One of them, like simple Glam, is both +2 and -2.
Okay, so if there's multiple numbers there, then that's referencing additional targets. So at the bottom of the spell, you'll see. Let me see.
Right. It
Find
says
simple.
other people have a -2 to see through it.
So at the bottom of Simple Glam, by casting with a DM of -2, the mage can attempt to take on the appearance of another person. So if you just want to like do some makeup, then it's +2, right? It's pretty easy to just make your face look like you put some makeup on. But if you want to use it as like an illusory, like alter self type of spell, to where you change your appearance completely, where you look like someone else, then it's at a -2, because it's a lot more difficult to make your whole body look like someone else than it is to, I don't know, change your hair color.
Cool.
All right. So you guys are all students at El Camino Community College of Magic and Technology.
I went there actually
Did you go to Elka?
for like a year.
Oh yeah, I had some friends that went there, I think my dad went there when he was like in his 30s or something. Anyways, you guys all go to community college. Basically, you're not going to Harvard of Magic, right? You're going to community college. You're not the cream of the crop there for whatever reason. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go through your characters, and we're going to pick your hindrances and edges. And so when we're picking your hindrances, let's think about, like, why didn't you end up, like Preppy Kid, who's a prophet, why didn't you end up at a good school, right? Like what made you decide
Transfer credits, baby.
Yeah. So another thing is you haven't been like this since birth. So your gifts, your abilities that you've gained being a mage or a warrior, this is recent, something that's happened in the last few days. When you're thinking about your background and like what kind of bad things has happened to you, you didn't have a radiant wisp following you around when you were a kid, right? This is a new development. So the other big decisions you have are what clique you're part of. Obviously, those have been decided for you because it's a one-shot sort of con situation. But typically, you would be able to mix and match between the classes and the backgrounds or the cliques. Let's see. All right. But what the cliques give you is the choices of what hindrances and what edges to take. So for let's go to the Celestial. For the Celestial, you get a choice between Clueless and Snob, right?
I can go with Clueless.
Okay.
Because Snob wasn't a great 80s movie. I don't keep secrets because it's forbidden by prophecy, I guess, or something.
Sure. Yeah, there are religions related to the four, but they're as important as you want them to be.
Well, my family's kind of like Jewish, so I don't know. But yeah, so I have an attractive edge because, I'm one of the few people at the school use moisturizer. Come on, and that's me.
Yeah, so, all right, cool. So maybe the Clueless and the Big Mouth, it's hard to get into university when your grades are that bad, right? Like when you just don't...
You don't need a 4-year degree to be a model.
That is very true.
Yeah, Daddy says once I get my associate, I can go to New York and get started there.
Perfect. The mage, you have a choice between curious and yellow. Something to keep in mind when you're choosing these hindrances. Savage Worlds has a problem, I think, with bennies being complete GM fiat. So they typically only get handed out whenever they make the GM laugh, which doesn't, like, that's not the best way to manage that economy. So what I did is I added a trigger to the end of all of the hindrances. So whenever you do that, you just get a Benny. For instance, if you took Curious, when you follow a lead or curiosity despite the obvious danger, you get a Benny. So which one of those are you taking?
I took Curious.
Okay.
And Quirk.
Oh, cool. What's your quirk?
It might be like I'm a 1980s role player or something like that. So.
Cool.
So you worship demons, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Perfect.
That might be true, though. If everyone has magic and D&D's the thing, you can probably get better at it through demonology.
Well, because the player's handbook has this spell called Magic Missile.
Oh, boy.
Let's see. What are your hindrances, Andrew?
So that was Curious and Quirk, and I think that I'll go for an edge is Danger Sense.
Okay.
Because like all nerds, I know when things are going to happen.
Yep. Yep.
That's my.
Anytime you're about to be the victim of a surprise attack, other nasty surprise, they get a notice at -2. So basically, you get to roll notice if someone was going to surprise you. You can react to the thing.
Okay, so it's a notice at -2, but it's still it's still a notice ahead of time.
Yeah. So if like someone was sneaking up on you, you would get that notice check. So you're going with lame and trusting, huh?
Yep.
What's your injury?
Tore my ACL and I broke, kind of blew out my knee.
Mm.
And it just never healed right.
So that's why you didn't get that sports scholarship and ended up at Elko?
What? No, I mean, that's why I didn't get the sports scholarship. I ended up here because I'm not that bright.
What
I fell in with the wrong crowd and let my grade slip.
Okay. Oh, and what was your edge?
Quick.
Quick. Okay.
I originally was gonna go with brawny, but I feel like if in the last couple of days I've been imbued with this warrior spirit, despite my injury, I've been getting more and more impatient, more and more quick to take action.
When I do initiative, it should give you your make sure you don't get any lower cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't stand those low cards.
Yeah, screw that. Ain't nobody got time for that. What's everybody's name? I see Persephone.
So my name depends on which one of my really bad accents I'm gonna do.
Manuel.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I can do I could also do a really bad southern accent.
Yeah, you could definitely try.
It was between stoner. I mean, we're in California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in California. Yeah, okay.
It's
Oh
stoner.
yeah. Fast times.
Slow
Yeah,
times.
I was thinking, when I got my injury, opioids haven't been invented yet. So get that illegal green to dull the pain.
Mm.
Yeah, that hasn't been in California since the 40s.
I like your hat.
Thank you.
Travis.
I realized that it was behind me, and if we're all going to be wizards, I'm already wearing my robe.
Nice.
Perfect. The warrior is Sebastian LeBlanc. And
He goes by Baz.
Goes by Baz. Okay. Go ahead and change your name to Baz. Yeah, put Baz in there. And then, let's see, our mage is Dylan Ruskell Jr. and Persephone. Persephone Vandertonk.
What? Mommy remarried.
Vandertonk. Got it. Perfect. Okay. So let's go through and let's do some your guys' bonds. So you all have an NPC which is sort of important to your character. It could be like a brother, it could be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, it could be like a teacher that you particularly fond of. Whatever the relationship is, you have this NPC that you're sort of tied to. Someone you would kind of do anything for and they would do anything for you. Anybody have any?
I already have mine.
Sure. Hit me.
So there's this like crazy star child out there hippie art teacher that I've taken a bunch of classes with, and she is my hookup.
Perfect.
But we are also very fond of each other. She is teaching me to love and appreciate art and poetry instead of just football.
Okay.
Also, drugs are nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, what was the name on that one?
I didn't come up with a name. I figured, we'll just call her Cassandra.
Cassandra. And so say that again. What was she? What's her job kind of situation?
She's an art teacher.
Art teacher at the college.
Specifically, probably like painting,
Okay.
graphic design, illustration.
Okay, cool.
Because sculpture isn't real art. Putting my foot down.
Okay, so we have Cassandra, art teacher.
We'll probably say I need a last name because she'll probably be Professor something. So let's say Cassandra Beckett.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Mr. Dodd. He's the physics professor, and he's the one who's getting me a scholarship to go to a UC school next year.
That's Dylan. All right, Persephone, who's your bond?
I got my best friend Gwen Chu and my ferret Lola, who I keep in my specially lined purse.
You have a best friend and a ferret.
One of the on-campus Celestia types. I guess it's always trying to invite people to meetings. And I have a ferret named Lola
Okay.
who likes Doritos.
Okay. Ferret's name is Lola. What was the friend's name?
Gwen Chu, I put in chat.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, she's head of the Fellowship of Celestia or something.
Sure. Okay, best friend Gwen Chu. And your ferret Lola. Why don't you guys, because the ties are sort of between you, so let's go around. We'll start with, I'll just start with the thing here. So Adam is on the far left of the thing. So Adam, why don't you throw out one of your ties?
Who was my project in high school? Did I help or hurt you?
I was your project in high school.
All right. How'd you turn out?
The couple of times you took me to the weight room did not work out well for anybody involved.
I thought it was funny.
Like, I was dropping shit and hurting people, and like, just it did not work out.
Closed-toed shoes, baby. All right, so I'll take a +1 bond for you because I tried. Actually, a -2 bond because I keep getting into trouble even if I don't think I'm doing it.
All right, so for me, I had a person. Who did I tutor or do homework for in high school?
I mean, that's for sure got to be me.
I was gonna volunteer. You can go for it, Jockey.
I mean,
how could he have done if you ended up in community college, though?
that's what I was about to say.
Listen, you work with the imperfect materials you're given.
You're also here, dumbass.
I have a feeling that this was a quick, easy way to get cash, and like you put the bare minimum amount of effort into it.
Listen, you had to take your own tests.
I mean,
I can write the papers and I can do all that stuff, but at the end of the day, you still got to pass the test.
I mean, why?
He's got a point.
When you say the bare minimum, did you study? Did you read the 9 pages of notes that I gave you?
Oh, I thought that was the homework, man.
No, you didn't. That wasn't supposed to be turned in. That was the cheat sheet.
Oh.
You shouldn't have written,
Man,
please
no,
read this,
no.
and then his name on it.
No, football taught me to be honest. I can't cheat. Why would I have a cheat sheet?
Well, he
got a point. Maybe if you had been allowed in the gym, you could have spent more time together.
Well, I was allowed in the gym.
Someone had to dump things all over the weight room and not towel down the rack.
Yeah, I was only there briefly.
No, they're still paying off the damage. Anyway, next Mond.
Who was with me when we hit that dog?
Oh, not it. I have a pet ferret. I wouldn't be fun with you if I found out you had killed the dog.
Well, the next question is, or the next part of that is,
did we stop? I was gonna.
All right, maybe. What are your other ones?
Who ruined my chance at a scholarship?
You. Well, let's read all of them, and we'll find one that really jumps out at me.
Who spent the night with me when my blank died?
Oh, I did.
Okay. And I have to come up with a relative. That's why I didn't want to do that one.
We'll say. You can think up.
No, we're gonna go twin.
Oh, gross.
It's gonna be a fraternal twin.
Okay.
And she died when we were 16.
Spooky. Who did I give money to when they were in a jam? Did you try and pay me back?
No. Nope. Yeah, no, I don't think I did.
Or who was in Young Leaders with me? Did you resent my success?
That's probably it. The coach probably put me in Young Leaders to try and, improve on field performance. I was probably in Young Leaders with you.
Did you resent my success?
No, I don't really care.
Apparently the hair toss is not a legal move in formal debate.
Says you.
Hey, I won with it, baby.
Who played D&D with me and why did you quit?
Too many rules.
Okay.
Why can't you just roll 2 dice and then be like, on a 6 you do one thing, on a 7 and 9 you do another thing, on a 10 you do a different thing.
Yeah, also because AC is bullshit.
Yeah, right? Thaco? That's wacko.
Yeah, and all these rules are inhibiting my player agency.
Also, you said my barbarian had to wear clothes and not just have his big old dong everywhere. Which is how they fought in antiquity, by the way.
According to these romance novels I read.
Shut up. You said you keep that secret. You said you're glad I'm reading books. Yeah, you're just mad that people get laid in them? Man, you're petty.
All right. So who ended up with that one?
Me.
Who's next?
My last one is, who did I take to prom? Did we leave together? We didn't go together as a couple to prom, but I think I for sure dragged the nerd to prom because he didn't want to go.
All right.
I like that.
Yeah, but did you leave together?
I have a
No,
feeling that
because the limo just disappeared. I don't know what happened. Like I arrived in the limo and then like I was there and then next thing I know, no one was there and you left.
The limo was just gone.
I have a feeling like I got in a fight at prom. Like there was like hella drama.
I left with the nerd.
I probably got arrested at prom.
Yeah, I definitely got kind of drunk and left with the nerd. I made him drive though, because he's
Responsible.
I have one thing of punch.
Yeah. It's that scene at the end of 16 Candles.
Yeah.
I'm king of the
I
nerds.
finally light the 16th candle and open the seal to hell. Or am I thinking of the 7th seal?
I think that's a different thing.
That's pretty much when magic came into my world.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody have a bond with everybody else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Or tie, sorry. All right, so once all those are done, unless you guys want to do the rest, we can, but we don't have to.
Oh,
Nah.
should have got that 4th player. Want more bonds.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Traveler was definitely with me when we hit that dog.
Yeah, that's why they skipped town.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
didn't stop. They convinced me it was a skunk.
You want to take a minute to collate all your notes, and then we'll go get drinks and gum and such.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Cool.
Yeah.